So hi guys, welcome back again, and guys we are starting with new series. With these video lectures you will understand, and it will be a good revision rather, regarding, as you can see from the name also, places in news. We will do it topic wise topic. Initially we will start with India and the world, places which have been in news for reason, for maybe conflict or for some other reason. We will see some seas, Gulf areas, everything which have been in news for last one and a half year. Simultaneously we will move forward to rivers, lakes and everything, and then eventually to your national park, tiger reserves, your Ramsar sites. It would be a quick revision lecture, as the audio, video, visuals, they help you with your last moment revision lectures. Okay, now that does not mean you won't open your books and revise that. These lectures will only help only if you have learned, revised to an extent, and these are just a brush up for your memory. And if you learn something new from these lectures, that will also help. Okay, so what I've tried to done is place, location, significance and a small map for you. This will help you in remembering. Okay, so I hope these colorful map helps you to some extent. Okay, chale, let's start. First is Central Asia. Again, you have to understand something like your Central Asia, Red Sea. You have an idea about these places, okay? And these areas have always been in news for some way or the other. Central Asia, thanks to Mr. China, okay? Red Sea, you know where is it surrounding, which are the countries. You have to blindly remember. There is no other way to remember it. You have to remember it either from west to east, east to west, north to south, everything. Your seas, your areas, your countries, surrounding areas. These are the type of questions UPSC keep on asking constantly. There is no, you won't find any question paper where they have not asked about the area, about the places. So you have to be clear. Now Central Asia, we are talking about here a connectivity. Okay, China, Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. China, Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan, these three areas. Okay, a railway project they are talking about here, a railway project which connects these three countries. Of course, if they are talking about a railway project, it will eventually help which country? This. Okay, that is the goal behind it. Of course, trade route, in order to make sure that there is trade route so that there is transfer of goods to Europe. Then you would see there is Caspian Sea and all, and then from here later on also it will help China in providing and in reaching a shorter route via this area. Okay, as you can see, this is critical part of BRI. BRI will always be in news, because if India or other countries, especially US, are looking for other strategic locations, areas, or even trying to do trade, trying to find different trade routes regarding with different countries, this will always be critical of BRI, okay, and China. So this is your first one. Next is your Red Sea. Okay, now why I have mentioned it near Yemen is because it was in news regarding Houthi rebels. Okay, Houthi rebels, of course we know there is a conflict going on, of course, for many decades, but it started in 2023 October between Israel and Palestine. Okay, especially that Gaza region also. So from your own perspective also, you have to see and make a map of it, make a table also, make a map and table of it, of the Gaza region, see which areas are surrounding it. Now the reason I've mentioned Red Sea, because here a naval mission was launched by the EU. Okay, a naval mission was launched by the EU. This is your Red Sea. Let me use a different color here, maybe red only. This is your Red Sea. Okay, so you have to remember Red Sea surrounded by which countries? Gulf of Aqaba, this is a place we'll be dealing later also. Okay, then you have to see Gulf of Aden also, Gulf of Oman, Persian Gulf, which are the areas, these are the areas you have to remember it. Okay, so these are the, of course, they were citing solidarity, the Houthi rebels of Yemen, they were citing solidarity with the Palestinian cause. That's why the naval mission was launched by the EU, in order to make sure the attacking vessels were not attacked. Okay, to safeguard this area. So Sinai Peninsula, Mediterranean Sea, Israel. Israel is surrounded by which sea? or Mediterranean Sea is surrounded by which countries. So keep on remembering it. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so what you can do is, from these video also, try adding more. Okay, I have of course got the basic one. Try adding more in your list of where is Gulf of Oman or area surrounding. Now next is your India, Middle East, Europe corridor. Of course, very, very important it becomes. We saw it during your G20. Okay, it was announced during your G20. It is, so you have northern to connect and then you have eastern way to connect. Okay, when you talk about eastern, immediately India to your Arab Gulf. Now this would be your eastern corridor. Okay, and then you move up, that would be your northern corridor which goes to Europe. Okay, so you divide it with, I have written here northern corridor, Gulf to Europe, and eastern corridor. Okay, of course any such corridors are made, any such, when you see multiple countries economic corridor, the word economic only means automatically your words like trade, reduce transportation cost. We will do more also of other areas, energy and data exchange, of course counter to BRI, one of the basic classic points in order to deal with your, it can be asked in one-liners in your prelims, and of course it will help in your mains also. Guys, these series, wherever we have these lecture we are doing, for more details, to go through more about it, Prelims Ready Reckoner, our book, Prelims book is ready and advanced booking has started. Go to our Telegram channel, the link is, go to our Telegram channel and you will find the, Prelims book. Okay, just order it and it will definitely help you. Okay, so you have seen that India, Middle East, Europe corridor. I have written quick points which will try to remember. Now you have to understand your Arabian Gulf region and which are the countries here mentioned. Okay, chali, let's move forward to other part. Copper Belt region. Now this is very important. Every point is important, I can't help it. The reason I'm saying this is important is, now if you go through your previous year questions, you will find they have asked about places in areas, places in news areas. Congo, you will find the African region of certain areas, they have been in conflict for a long time. We will do 2-3 more here. Africa, you know, is rich, is mineral wise very rich, but due to the political instability there, countries like European Western superpowers, USA, China have been making sure that they are trying to safeguard their areas there. They are trying to make sure, what we say is unka dabdaba rahe. Okay, so here your Copper Belt region, it's one of the most richest. It's one of the most richest region for you, copper and cobalt. Okay, this Copper Belt region only you have to understand. Isko bolte hi hai, it is called only Copper Belt region. Okay, US with Western powers and China dominant forces in the region. So US is again, they are trying, what they are trying to do here is, they are trying to locate critical electric vehicle materials, okay, with latest technologies. And this area of Copper Belt, it goes across Zambia, as you can say Zambia, then your Congo region, okay, and it is one of the largest leading mining region. Okay, cobalt and all these are used for your EVs. Now a lot of focus is these days gone to EVs, so that is why both China, Western powers and USA are trying to make sure that they focus on these area. Around this much tons is produced every year. Okay, so, and of course it is responsible for their GDP also, because itna production hai, it is responsible for that also. So you can understand why all these Western powers, as usual, are wherever you have mineral rich resources, you will find USA, and now with time China running after that region. USA so you will find in every nook and corner, even on I'm sure different galaxy also, but this is where you will find such area. Okay, let's move forward. Amhara region, again this was in news because of the conflict. Okay, Ethiopia again, let me just get the map. Ethiopia again, okay, this area Amhara region, this is the entire Ethiopia, it's one of the largest countries of Africa. This region, okay, see guys, whenever we talk about conflict in Africa, please understand when they were, you know, divided or, you know, the borders were drawn, they were not properly drawn, okay, they still have the constant tribal conflict going on. Okay, so they were just divided as per the convenience of what all these European powers, Western powers thought about it. What on practicality should be that they should have been divided as per the tribal region. That's why the constant conflict is going on in the African region. Now you see this properly about you know, Amhara region, blue source of Blue Nile, and there is conflict with other neighboring countries also. So try finding Ethiopia and you will see that you will, and then you will see what the conflict they are trying to see. Again, Eastern Congo conflict, Eastern Congo conflict. I have the map here. Okay. Acha. One of the unfortunately famous areas for conflict in Africa. ठीक है, वहाँ पे you have this conflict going on between Tutsi and Hutu. It's mentioned here. Rwandan genocide unfortunately was in news in early 90s and then in 2022 also. These are two tribal groups. If you want to read more about it, well, right now I don't think you have that much time, but to have quick glance about this genocide which happened in early 90s, 93, 94, and then this time it is a constant conflict going on. So this is the you know, recent conflict going on between M23, which was to defend your Tutsi group, okay, your Tutsi group against the Hutu militias. Of course, for one group it would be military, for another group these are the tribal groups, they are fighting amongst themselves. Okay, so these are the recent resurgence happened near these areas. There is tension among various groups. There is tension among various groups also. Okay. So this is the area. Let me just show the map. This is your Uganda, this is Congo, this is your Rwanda. This area they have constantly going on. So you can find different areas also. Okay. So the blue area you will find is constantly under scanner and constantly going this. Next is our own country ka issue, and it was in news for last 1.5 years. It was, as you can see, it has been going on since 1974. It was so-called cleared, but then during the elections in 2024, it was again spoken about it. Okay, political reasons, well, we can deny political, if BJP wants to accuse Congress, Congress wants to accuse BJP, that's a completely different thing. But then you have to focus on what issues they were talking about. A lot of discussion, made up discussion was regarding Kachithivo Island, it's here, okay, it's here, and Watch Bank. Okay? So as you can see, it was claimed by India but it was given, ceded to Sri Lanka in 1974 by this treaty, by this agreement, Indo-Sri Lanka Maritime Agreement, and whatever, as you can see, this area has been very rich for marine rich area and strategically important. It has been for a very long time. Now this area was initially in the Jaffna Kingdom of Sri Lanka, and till after that India had ownership over this because it considered part of the Madras constituency, you know, during that British rule in early 20th century and all that. Eventually it was given to Sri Lanka under this treaty, and they have made sure that prevented both the countries from fishing in each other's exclusive economic zones, because EEZ becomes economic zones, and they have ambiguity over the fishing rights. Okay, so of course, considering Sri Lanka has also been in conflict for a long time, Jaffna region and all, even in the late 2000s also. So there were accusations that in this area, fishermen were being arrested and custodial torture of the fishermen was being done. Okay, so this was your this area regarding the dispute India is having with Sri Lanka. Well, now they are not talking much about it, but you never know, this can be, this was in news, this can be taken up again maybe in your some example, but you should know exactly where it is, whether it is near this area, that area, Jaffna area, you know, so you have to note the exact location. Then next is your Kalapani territorial, it is with your Nepal. Okay, Kalapani, it is with your Nepal. Okay, the main dispute is regarding the origin of or the source of Kali river. Okay, whenever we get the new map, be it from Nepal or from India, there are disputes. Okay, this area comes from our key disagreements lie in the origin of Kali river. It's considered a natural border, and Nepal considering, I have mentioned this, just read it properly. Okay, so Nepal mentioned that almost 16 kilometers of it is at this Kalapani in the Zanskar region of Himalayas. So they say Limpiadura, which includes Kalapani and Lipu Lake. Kalapani and Limpiadura, Kalapani and Lipu Lake, it is all covered, all belongs to Nepal. India says that the river Kali originated from a smaller area, okay, smaller area called Pangagad, that is south of Kalapani, and it is on the eastern part of this area, true border lies, therefore making it territory part of India. So it's just that they have met various times over this dispute and all, but what happens is, when you have different governments coming up over this area also, be it Nepal, be it anything, so you have to understand the statements might change over time. But right now it has not been made such a big issue by either Nepal or India, even though they keep on meeting, the bureaucrats of both the countries keep on meeting. But so this has been the area about in dispute. Next is everyone's favorite, the Indus River. Now, of course, we are talking about an Indus River Valley, not Indus River dispute, not valley. It has been in news and it will always be in news because of our pampered neighbor, okay? Because of our pampered neighbor, and whatever they do, India tries to make sure that some way or the other we hit them. Now, your Indus River watershed agreement has been divided or has been regulated by, brokered by the World Bank. This is something you should remember. They might ask about Indus River water, which western rivers are in the eastern, which western rivers belong to Pakistan. Of course, this is your J&K, India, and your Pakistan. Eastern part, your eastern rivers, that means Bias, Ravi, Satluj, it is to India, allocating the rivers to India, and your western rivers, जो यहाँ से जा रही हैं, you can see from here, okay, to Pakistan. So western and eastern rivers you have to understand, quickly remember it, and brokered by whom? World Bank. Okay, so this has been the in news for a long time, and it all anyway comes whenever there has been escalation at the border, whenever there has been terror activity or something, India suddenly rakes up the issue, increases the issue of your Indus River dispute. Okay, so this is one way or the other India decides that we will hit them. Well, good for them, but they have given you hint also. Another neighbor, but no dispute here, we are talking about a port, Mongla port. It is with our eastern neighbor, that is Bangladesh. Now where it is, let me just, this is Mongla port here, okay. Of course, the idea here is about the connectivity, or the seaport after provides reduced transportation costs for goods and to northeastern states of our which northeastern states would have access to it. You have to remember which one: Assam, Tripura and Meghalaya. Okay, these are the three quickly states you have to remember. Got it? Access to these states and how it will help your northeastern region, the northeast states also. Next is one of my favorite, I don't know why, but it's my favorite area, Chennai Vladivostok maritime. Very cool area. India, Russia, of course. Vladivostok, as you can see from the name, it is the eastern port city of Russia, and Chennai is here. I will just show the map to you. World's largest, of course, end point is longest railway line. Also, forget that. This is extra information. These are the routes you have to understand. You have to remember. They might ask what routes are not part of it, what routes are part of it. So 1, 2, 3 crosses. So 3 passes they do. Then which peninsula it covers, and you have to understand how they try to cover it. Let's see the map. This is a map, Chennai, and this is how the area it goes to Vladivostok. It's to the eastern side of the Russia. Done? So this is your map. West Asia. Again, we have read something about your West Asia. That is why I have written in entirety your West Asia, because the entire area has been in news for last 1 year and still the conflict is not over. Okay, your Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, now even Syria, because there has been change of government there. Okay, so the entire area. Now here we are talking exclusively about Israel and Lebanon. Israel and Lebanon. So there was there was a conflict between Hezbollah. It's a military, militia from Lebanon. They were fighting against Israel, of course, in solidarity with to the Palestinian cause, and it was brutal. It went brutal for both the countries. So there was a resolution of conflict to end, ceasefire and all that. So of course we are talking about this area. Understand where your Lebanon is, Mediterranean Sea, your Israel is, all these area. Okay, where Jordan is, Sea of Galilee, Golan Heights. Blindly you have to remember, there is no other way. You have to, you cannot just deny not learning these area. Again, Kerch Strait, Russia, Ukraine. Now considering there is a new president in United States, there has been discussion that this war can be over soon. We hope so too, because it has been going on since 2022. Now this is Kerch Strait. Now you have seen the Black Sea area. I really like this area because it is where it's a separate country on its own. For me, Black Sea looks like a mini Australia. I mean, okay. So this is how I always remember Black Sea is like mini Australia. This is your Kerch Strait. This small area. So between your Russia and Black Sea to Sea of Azov, located between Crimean Peninsula, this is your peninsula, and mainland Russia. Of course, your maritime route is important. Wherever you find sea and all these kind of straits and all, understand your maritime route, your trade, your transportation, everything, all these fancy words will be maintained here. And of course, these have been part of your geopolitical tensions also. Okay? So this is your Kerch Strait. Looks like Church Street. Anyway, Gulf of Aden, I just showed you earlier also about Gulf of Aden. It was in news. Extension of Indian Ocean. Yahan se it is extension. extension, you can see it's near your Arabian Sea also, Gulf of Aden. You have to remember which all countries are, you know, surrounded by it. Then your Red Sea is here, we have done that. See your Djibouti also, something from your Africa also, your Yemen, all these areas are your connected with it, okay. Indian Navy boosting presence to secure routes, of course, if it is an extension of your Indian Ocean part of it. So Indian Navy or Indian will obviously try to, and of course they want peace here, as simple as that. Indians also want peace in this area because it will help them. So remember it, Gulf of Aden, I just showed you earlier also, it was near Red Sea. So which all areas it connect, or it is an extension of which ocean, which sea. So these are the small things you have to remember in a very big manner. Chale, next, Philadelphia corridor. Again, we have Israel, but this is between Israel and Egypt. It is a very narrow corridor. Okay, so it is 14 kilometers long and just 100 meters wide. So you can understand how narrow it is. But then it was established in 1979 between Israel and Egypt, whatever the treaty, the peace treaty they had that time between. It is a critical border zone, okay, along the Gaza-Egypt border. So this is your, these are the areas connected. These are the areas connected, and this is where your, see this part. These are the small, see, have you seen Israel? Have you seen all these small countries? So whatever they try to gain, see, eventually it is all about the territorial, sovereignty about all these areas, and that is how they want to get control over such area. Now this is the strait we were talking about. Just because these countries are in news for a long time, so you have to understand, because right now the conflict is between every other country here, okay. Okay, this is almost, we are towards the end of it. Abd al-Quri Island, Indian Ocean, part of Socotra Archipelago and belongs to Yemen. Yes, when I was doing the above Red Sea wala part, I found that area above also, but I wanted to make sure that I go pretty near it. Okay, this is that area, a small area near Yemen. Okay, so you have to see how it is surrounded by which all countries. Again, it was in news for a long time. Okay, it becomes strategically important to Yemen, and that is how it goes. Okay, Diego Garcia, it was in news, very important to understand. It was in news. Let me just show you. It is here. Chagos Archipelago ke paas hai ye Diego Garcia. This is Seychelles, this is Sri Lanka, Maldives. It's a small area here. It was in news because about the administration here. So ICJ gave a judgment. ICJ gave a judgment in 2019, and they made sure that they gave it return. They gave it return to Mauritius. Okay. Of course, as usual, US geostrategic location. They want to make sure part of every strategically important location here and a military base. So they found that Britain's continued administration was completely unlawful, and that is how they gave it back to Mauritius. So it was in news, and these strategic locations near India becomes important. Okay, so that is why it has been in news. The last one is Cabo Verde. See, kahan pe hai? This is here, like just outside your Africa, it is here. Now, why was it in news? Because it is the third country after, your Mauritius and Algeria. Mauritius and Algeria, which was declared malaria free, okay, last year. And of course, you have many UN reports, and especially the latest World Bank report regarding climate change and all. And they have mentioned a lot about Cabo Verde and how a lot of so-called changes ho rahi hai aapki climate due to climate change. It is affecting this region a lot. Okay, so malaria free certification, and when a malaria free certification given to countries, they come in news, and that is how they tend to remember that. So these are the Portuguese and language of course is spoken here, but you have to understand where it is. Cabo Verde, quickly it is outside Africa towards its west. Here, Atlantic Ocean you can find. Okay, this is almost the last part of it. We are coming here. Darfur region, again it is in Sudan. It was again in news due to its conflict. Again your African region is here. Western Sudan, it lies extend to southward river and northward Libyan desert. Consider volcanic highlands of Mara mountains. Okay, volcanic ways also it becomes important, and this is where it is, your Darfur region. Okay, so Sudan is also quite big. It is surrounded by, you have to see, Sudan is also surrounded by, this is again, here comes your Red Sea, Egypt, Libya, Chad, Central African Republic, South Sudan and Ethiopia, and that is how all these areas become important. Okay, so these are, we are done with the first part. Next we will start with your geography and India lectures. That will, we will also try to finish it in 2 parts. Area, location, place, location, and why was it news for a long time. Okay, chale guys, see you in next lecture.